Yeah, what a match. I think that's what we've come to get used to when we play these guys. Credit to UCLA, they played great, and they put a ton of pressure on us right out of the gate, and that was really the kind of the whole match, right? They got pressure on us early, we got pressure on them late, and then it was just a race to 15. So we're really excited to play on Saturday night. Those matches can go either way, but I have to give my crew a ton of credit for their grit after being down 0-2. That was one heck of a response against a really good team playing really well at that time, and they're building. We'll take it. I'm proud of them, and we'll get some rest and get something to eat and get prepped to play for a title.
Alan Vinny-Lopes here from Off the Block. Can you talk about the serving performance tonight of Simone Towery and just what he was able to do from the line?
Yeah, he was a huge difference maker in a lot of areas. He blocked some key balls for us, and he created a lot of problems from behind the end line serving, and he's been doing that all season. We've tried to get him on the court many different times, and mainly because of his serving. So just a big moment, and been working his butt off to be good in this moment. He bounces back and forth from the right to the middle for us, and he hasn't said one thing about it other than whatever it takes. And you're pulling for kids in that situation to get this kind of these moments and then perform. So it's a big deal. Yeah, he was awesome tonight.
And then Alex, for you in terms of serving, it looked like you really ramped up your serve in those final three games. What was the difference for you in the first two games compared to the final three games?
Hello. Obviously, didn't have my best serving night, especially early. And I asked Coach, actually, it's funny, I asked Coach, I said, Coach, my serve's not going in. What do I do? And he said, shoulders back, toss it up, and hit it as hard as you can. And, I mean, it obviously proved to work in the end, so I'm happy.
Alan, can you, I know you're not a big rah-rah speech guy in between sets, but obviously between the second and the third set, quite a switch flipped there. Can you just talk about, from a coach's perspective, that flip and what happened for you guys in those last three games?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was two things going on. One, UCLA was playing really well and putting a lot of pressure on us. And two, I thought we were really reactive and we weren't passing the ball great. We weren't putting pressure on them from the end line. And we just needed to respond. We needed to stop worrying about where we were in the match as far as sets won or lost, and needed to be present in each point. And we needed to be a little bit more freed up, unlocked, and trust what we do all the time. And stop worrying about maybe the end result right now and start worrying about how many points we can get. So we were just trying to be a little more physical and trying to play with a lot more grit.
Spence, your splits from the first two sets and the last three sets are a pretty impressive turnaround. What are you saying to yourself? How are you able to kind of, get locked in and play the way you did in those last three games?
Well, obviously, my hitting wasn't what I would have liked it to be. So when I went to the sideline, Nick Amato took me to the side and said, just relax. Sit up, relax, breathe. You're fine. And just do you. So I just focused on what I could make work, which was passing the ball and trying to get some blocks. And in doing so, it kind of snowballed into helping me free up in the attacking. I started getting some kills and kind of just worked from there. So,
Spencer, speaking to that, what did this team show to be able to come back in an environment like this, down 0-2? Now you're in the championship game.
I think it was just emotion. I think right out the gates, right after the second set, where it was like, it's do or die at this point. We have to give emotion. That's the key. We're going to have to outwork them. And honestly, for the difference for me, at least, it was just raw emotion.
Alex, you were talking about how much you love a crowd and love playing in big moments. What did you think of your first, NCAA Final Four? You had a great match. What did you think of the experience and the atmosphere and how you guys were able to bounce back?
Like you said, this is what every athlete trains for, and I love it. I've had my fair share of experiences with big crowds, but this one tonight was special because it was my first semifinal in the Final Four. I'm happy. The score we won. I'm happy, and that's it.
For both Alex and Spencer, It felt like the fifth set was a battle of attacking the triple block on both teams. You guys both came up with a kill after kill against pretty big triple blocks. Can you talk to us a little bit about what went into that and the confidence that you guys had to attack those blocks and get those kills when your team needed them?
I mean, in the fifth set, after a certain point, after like maybe 7 or 8 points, you have to go for it. You have to rely on your training and hit the ball as hard as you can and hit high and get points. You can't tip late in sets because it's just going to come right back at you. So we swung away and we had some good swings and we won.
Coach, in the fifth set, you were down 7-5 and you called a timeout. They had just had 2 straight kills. What did you say during the timeout, and kind of how did that shift the momentum from there?
Well, the whole match was frantic. It was all about slowing things down, right, and being able to breathe and try to be able to stay within the next point. At that point, we were flying with energy, and we didn't have any in the first 2 sets, and we were flying with. I just wanted to make sure we were going to slow it down just a little bit, and try to get quality contacts within the play, because that game was going to be a lot of out of system, a lot of blocks, tips, junk, transition plays, and we needed to not get ahead of the next contact and just take care of the ball so we could get, our big dogs the swings that they ended up taking. So it was more about calming them down and asking them to have a combination of prepping and relaxing at the same time, playing throughout the point as hard as they could, because it took everything we could to squeeze out enough points to win this thing.
Aloha, Coach. How happy are you with the set selection from your setter?
Yeah, I think it was great under the circumstances that most of the night he was on the run. And that's not, I thought we passed better as the match went on, but I think both setters needed to switch, their volleyball shoes for running shoes. So at that point, there's not going to be a whole lot of dicing up set selection. He set his big dogs the ball, and they swung themselves out of it and put us in the title game. And I'm more than happy with that.
Alex, Spencer, just to get your thoughts. What do you think it says about your setter that he's literally bleeding on the court in the 5th game and he's able to play through it?
I mean, it's nothing new. Aiden's a tough guy. I mean, he's been through many injuries, but he's been very consistent with toughing it out, and I really appreciate him. He definitely is working his butt off. So it tells a lot about his character. He just wants to win. He has that competitive drive to keep going regardless of how he's feeling, and it really helps us out. And it shows to us him doing that shows us that we can give more to him. So in doing that, it works for everyone. So that's good.
And then, Coach, just to follow up, was there ever any concern the 5th game you'd have to go your backup setter just with Aiden's injury?
Sure. I mean, I guess. But we had some time because there was blood, and we still had a timeout we could have used if we needed to. But, yeah, I mean, that's not the ideal time to throw your other guy in. But I bet if you asked Eric, he was probably running around fired up saying, "Here I go." That's just the type of kid he is. So, yeah.
We're going to take one more question.
Alan, we talked about, the 2017 Final Four and that team of, mostly sophomores, and sort of where they were mentally in that Final Four. Tonight, you have, a couple different big players for you guys kind of struggle in those first 2 sets, and then they were able to turn around and make those plays. What does that say about this year's team and what you guys have done differently, or those individuals that they're able to kind of flip that, in the middle of the night?
Well, I think first of all, you got to give all the credit to our current guys for being able to do that. Right? It's been a tough couple of years, and it's not like they've had an abundance of training in this situation. But let's not kid ourselves. There's lessons learned through those years as a staff, and some things that we tried to do in training, and some things that we tried to build into the way we serve and how we work on serving to be in a better situation in this match. And I think some of that came to fruition tonight.